What's going on, everybody? So, it's a good day. Except for at work. What's up, Jeremiah? Thanks for coming over, buddy. Oh, man. Kind of a rough day today. Heck yeah, Justin. Holy cow, guys. So, let some people get in here. And then, what's up, Adam? What's up, Con? What's going on, fellas? We got 4 in here and 7 likes. 6 in here, 7 likes. What's up, Matt G? Matt G in the house. Sorry, guys, that I'm already probably a quarter, maybe a third of the way home. I was over on Phil D12's channel, checking him out, listening to him for a minute. What's up, Jay Young? We're bar hopping. Yo, H&H. Country in the house, too. Mr. Jay Young himself. Adam's eating dessert. Right on. Alright, guys, so I got a little story for you today. So, first thing this morning, got into work, pulled in this real nice F-250 Super Duty. It's an 08, beautiful truck. We've done a lot of work to it in the past. It's a King Ranch edition, but it's been painted full black. He blacked out. And what's up, Chuck? And it's got ruby red accents all over it. Gorgeous truck, man. Red and black. It's got my heart. For a Ford, it's got my heart. I think it's running on 37s. So American forged wheels, powder coated black. So I get the wheels off of it, get it in the air on some jack stands in the shop, get the wheels off of it, check it all over, make sure everything's okay. And then the boss says, hey, the intake came back for the GT40. We have a 1968 GT40. It's one of the first years of the passenger GT40s. It's not a Le Mans GT40 like what Zach was talking about, Chuck. Yes, the GT40 came out in 1966 for the Le Mans. Ford put it out to be a Ferrari killer for the Le Mans because Ferrari was just eating up Le Mans at the time. And then the Cobra came out. It was eating up Le Mans. Well, then Ford got together. I think Carroll Shelby had a little bit to do with it. And life will never be the same. Sorry, guys, I'm not reading the comments a whole lot. I'm kind of got a bit of traffic going on right now. But anyway, he says the intake came back. All 8 carbs have been synced and overhauled. Everything's good to go on it. We need to get the intake put back on the GT40. And I'm going to post a real short little video when I get home of the GT40 and what it is, in case those of you who haven't seen it. What's up, Kyle? Who's Kyle? Kyle Miller. Welcome to the show, buddy. So I go to putting the intake on, and they put new fuel rails on the intake. So I get the intake all on, it's bolted in, got the gaskets, everything's good. So the fuel rail has a different fuel pressure regulator on the end of it. Well, for those of you that don't know, in the GT40, it's a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car. Okay, it's a 2-seater, little bitty tiny car. Okay, right behind your head, literally inches from your head, is the engine. There's not a lot of room in there, and you'll see in the video later. But the fuel rail, the fuel pressure regulator, was actually touching the support beam right behind the driver on the engine bay side. So I got to take the fuel rails off. Damn. Alright. So I wrestle those things off there, and as I'm pulling the first fuel rail off, one of the injector caps comes popping off of there, and I hear it tink, tink, tink. Oh shit, where'd it go? I have no idea. I can't find it anywhere. Found the other one that came off. Well, long story short, guys, the little plastic cap that goes on the end of the fuel pressure, or the fuel injector, came off, went down the intake runner in the intake manifold, right past the valve and into the cylinder, into the combustion chamber. Great. So I yanked the intake back off of there. now, how am I going to get this little piece of plastic out of the combustion chamber? I take the spark plug out, throw my borescope down in there. You know, it's my phone and a camera and whatever. I can see it. It's in there. Okay, I got it. Take the air line, blow it around in through the spark plug hole. See if I can't get it out. Air, blowing air, blowing air, blowing air. And real quick, everybody that's on here, go check out everybody else that's on here. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell on their channel, because everybody that's in this room right now, with the exception of maybe one or two people that I'm not familiar with, have awesome content and awesome channels. Go check them out. Now back to the regularly scheduled program. I end up putting the air through the intake side, and I'm moving it around, and finally that little piece of plastic comes buzzing out of the around the intake valve and out through the hole. Starts bouncing around in the valley of the engine, the top of the block. Ting, 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 yay, it's out! Goes through my head. Right as no goes through my head, the stupid little injector cap goes right through an oil galley hole directly over the camshaft. Oh my god. Oh my god. My life just ended. This is a $200,000 car, okay? And I've just lost something literally inside the engine. Guys, my asshole slammed shut so fast, I'm pretty sure some of my uniform is still inside there. As I watch that little thing go through the hole and into the block. Okay, so I think about this and I'm like, alright, the cam is inside the block. There's space around the cam. The oil has to go places. There's a considerable amount of space around the cam. Maybe it'll find its way down into the pan. I can drain the oil. It's small enough it should come out the oil plug. No, I didn't get fired, Chuck. Well, yeah, exactly. No, I didn't get fired, or we wouldn't be watching this 2 hours after it happened. Exactly. So, right about the time Chuck finished up that fucking Harley seat, finally. I know, it's not your fault. It's okay. Is when all this went down. I spent the last 2.5 hours of my day with my borescope in that oil galley hole. And I found the piece of plastic. I found the little cap. It's in there. I can see it. But I'll be damned if I've got anything that I can get down there and grab it with. I can't get a magnet in there because the thing's not magnetic, it's plastic. Oh my god. So I go over and I grab a piece of TIG welding wire. It's small enough diameter and still rigid enough that I think I can get it snaked by the cam and snaked by my borescope to be able to grab a hold of this thing. If I can get the hook, the end of it made into a hook just right, I think I can do this. I spent the last 2 hours of that day today trying to fish that sumbitch out of there. I'm pretty sure I've got quite a few more gray hairs now because that shit's stressful. I kept knocking it from one side to the other in this little bitty oil galley that it just so happened to catch in. Somebody upstairs is watching over me, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're laughing at me, poking at me, and they let it fall into this little galley just so it aggravate the shit out of me and not go past that galley, which maybe I could just knock it out of there and maybe it would find its way to the oil pan. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll bind up and get wrapped around one of the connecting rods, or get into the in between those or something. Granted, it's a piece of plastic and it's a 600 or 700 horsepower motor. I really don't think it's going to make a shit of difference, but it's the simple fact that it got away from me, and I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let it get all the way away from me. So I finally gave up. It was 6 o'clock. I was done. I had to let it go. First thing in the morning, I'll get in there. Shop will be quiet. I'll be able to think and get after this thing. and hopefully I can get it out of there. I think I've got that hook made up just right where I can get it out of there. But broken plastic pieces will plug oil holes. Exactly. That's the other thing, man. I don't want it to plug any other oil galleys or anything else inside that motor. I mean, I believe it's a 351. I mean, dude, this car, when you guys see it, you'll understand, dude. It's not, I mean, it's a kit car, but it's not a kit car, if that makes any sense. It's not like a Mark V or anything like that, like the guys that reproduce the fucking, pardon my language, that reproduce the Cobras. It's not one of those. This is a legit car that was made by Ford, but it was made from all the same molds and body molds and everything. It's the same chassis and all that as the Le Mans GT40s. The only difference being it has a little bit of critter comforts in it, and it has a passenger seat. It's got blinkers and, you know, DOT stuff. That's it. It's bare bones. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to catch back up with some of your comments here. Lots of laughter. That's great. I'm glad you guys are laughing at my misery, Adam. Yes, Jeff, I did see that. Thank you. The plastic pieces will plug oil holes, which is not okay with me. This car looked like the Cobra. Yes and no. If you guys Google the Ford GT40, you'll see it. I mean, 100 of them come up. Oh, they're laughing at you, Chuck. What happened, man? I missed it. I'm sorry. I got so wrapped up in telling you guys this. It's not an AC Cobra. The AC Cobra is a Cobra with a coupe top instead of an open-air Roadster. This is the Ford GT40. It is so called that because it's only 40 inches tall. Oh, you're being mean to me, you big old bully. You just a big old bully, Chuck. That's fine. I know where your shop is. I'm not going to drive all the damn way out to South Carolina, though. North Carolina, wherever the hell it is. I seen it. I looked at it on Google Earth. It's there. I know, buddy. I'm just teasing. If I drove out there, it'd only just be to shake your hand and admire your toolbox that I want so bad. Wait a second. Put my Pegger sucker on the oil hole and suck it out. Dude, if it was that easy, believe me, I got oil in my veins. I ain't afraid to fucking use my damn big head for a oil vacuum. Yeah, like I said, Scott, I will put up, I did a short little video of it before all this madness happened. I think it was before I even put the intake on. No, it was, because I was talking about the gaskets. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to reuse these, because we had just taken the intake off and put it back on, and then we took it off again to go have all the, it has 8 individual carburetors with velocity stacks on it. We set those off to be tuned up and synchronized. And it just came back from that. So I thought the gaskets would have been okay, but then I realized one of them was screwed up and missing a big old chunk. Yeah, your nightmare ended and mine just started, Chuck. You got that right, buddy. Cummins just waiting on parts. Had to rip half the machine apart to get that damn belt out. Wait, what? What happened, Eddie? Yeah, don't feel sorry for me, man. It was my own damn fault. I should have thrown a fender cover down in that valley so that when it did, or if it did come buzzing out of there, it couldn't. I was too focused on getting the damn thing out of there. Yeah, dude, my blood began to boil immediately. And it wasn't that it happened, it's that I let it happen, because I should have had the fucking foresight to put something down there so that it couldn't happen, you know? Oh well, you win some, you lose some. I gotta make sure I get it out of there, because I'll be damned if I let it hurt that engine. It's all wrapped up making it feel like a seized engine. Oh, what happened? A belt come loose on one of the machines and get all kiwi wrapped around belts and stuff? Yeah, I'd rather work on a 992 or 379 Peter or something, Eddie. Oh shit, what happened, buddy? I missed it. I'm sorry. I can't scroll all the way back up there and try to find what happened. You'll have to tell me again. Unless you did a video on it. If you did a video on it, just say so and I'll go watch it. Anything over a 10 millimeter. I like anything under 15. Yeah, no joke, because they don't require much torque. Oh man, except them big ass Torx bits for seat belts, man. Those things are a pain in the ass. God, those are a pain in the ass. I know you know what I'm talking about, Chuck. These fucking, well, the Hondas, I don't know if the Hondas have it, but a lot of the GMs have a big, like, T47, yeah, like 56 pound torque rating on them. But when you're using a Torx bit, that seems like a ton. I got that frame rail and all welded back up. Took me about 4 hours, but I got it done. Oh, you got your fish plate done on there? Good, man. I call it fish plate. That's just old school. When you get a crack in the frame, guys used to actually make them like in the shape kind of a fish or a diamond, or you can make them anything you want. But yeah, really, I'll have to look into that, Chuck, because the impacts that I've got, or well, the Torx ones that I've got are not, they are not high torque and they are not impact ready. I think they were supposed to be impact ready. I got them years ago at like O'Reilly's or some shit. But every one I've ever used to try and break the Loctite loose on those seatbelt bolts is, it's just obliterated every one of them. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see tomorrow's Snap-on Wednesday. Oh man, and that's another damn thing. I had Snap-on Wednesday for like a month and a half now, because my Snap-on guy he's taking over the route or whatever, and he was going to switch us to Wednesdays. So I was like, yay, I'm in the cool kids club. I got Snap-on Wednesday. Well, today he tells us, he shows up on a Tuesday. He shows up today and he goes, hey, yeah, by the way, moving you guys back to Tuesday because I got too much free time on Tuesday, Snap-on says. So, damn it. Ooh, $3 grand, buddy. You are going to win that boat. How many raffle tickets does that get you? 30 of them, I think. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be like Christmas. Dang, and I forgot to bring home. Shit. He gave us a new flyer today. I think somebody else already did a flyer video on this particular one though. It's got all the different sets in it. It's the one they're pushing right now. Yep, I'm not a cool kid anymore, man. I guess I'm, just gonna have to stick to my high horsepower and awesome sounding rides. Oh, the CTSV is done. It hit the dyno this afternoon. Ripped to oh damn it, what the hell am I trying to say? 2 grooves off the belt, sent the belt whipping around, supercharger belt. Didn't break anything, thank God, but it sure pissed off some stuff under the hood. Oh, he's selling it to you. Yes! Kick ass, so we get to make a trailer. That's what's up. I thought about something, Chuck. Sorry guys, we got real crap connection right now. We're going into the valley by the house. But Chuck, when you get that boat, if you could make me, like, out of foam, just make me a bottom mold of that boat out of foam, dude, that'd be great. If you give me, it'd be damn You don't have to go through all the fiberglass stuff. I mean, I guess that would probably be easier. Just saran wrap the bottom of the boat and do a quick little fiberglass stencil or mold of it. That probably wouldn't be too bad. That'd make it real easy to do the trailer with. Yes, country, I will definitely not make that mistake again. I'm not kidding when I say that my asshole puckered up real quick when I saw it drop into that, oh my good lord. When I saw it drop into that oil galley hole, I was like, oh my god, I'm dead, that's it. At least it wasn't, well, I can't say it, at least it wasn't aluminum. Had it been an aluminum piece, oh god. If it had been steel, I wouldn't be so bummed out. I'd get a little magnet down in there. Eddie is doing a drive belt on a Polaris quad. Oh boy, that sounds just splendid. Is that what he was talking about? Got all wrapped up and had him thinking it was seized? Good, thanks, Nick. Yeah, eventually I will. Just watched a video today on the fastest ATS or CTSV in the world. Yeah, I bet it's pretty badass, man. Jeff Kennedy said put a super sticky piece of tar on welding rod to get it out. I would if it wasn't coated in oil. Yeah, if that thing wasn't coated in oil, I think that would work. I thought about bubble gum. I thought about all kinds of different, you know, I was racking my brain trying to figure out how am I going to get this out of there. I even thought about my little Total Recall booger puller plastic magnet, you know, a little thing that, you know, you squeeze the end of it and it sends the little claws out. But I don't think I can get that. I know I can't get that down in there and have my bore scope, because the bore scope is the only way I can see it. Yeah, and that's it, Jeff. I mean, unless I hook that thing, there's no way I'm getting it out of there. So, first thing tomorrow, like I said, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna send off my email to Gear Wrench. Everybody, go send your email to Gear Wrench. Tell them that Jay Young needs to be their man. Tampon remover. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. It just reminds me of Total Recall when he shoves that thing up his nose and he grabs a hold of the tracking device or whatever. Arnold, get to the chopper. Need a vacuum with some vacuum hose. Phil, that very well could work, but the thing is, the oil galley that I've got to go through is like, I mean, dude, it's got to be a 1/4 inch. It's got to be a 1/4 inch because, it has a 1/4 inch. It might be a 7/16 hole, because my bore scope is like 6 millimeters wide or 6 millimeters across. Turbo V6, it pulled a 1071 at over 130. Adam, that's got to be the world's fastest 6-cylinder CTSV. I guarantee the CTSV that we have in the shop right now will do better than that. 5 millimeters 1/4 inch. Okay, so yeah, it's got to be like a 7/16 hole then. So getting any kind of vacuum line in there and being able to see it, because so the oil galley, the hole is directly over the camshaft. So when you look in the hole, all you see is one of the lobes of the cam. So I've got to actually kind of go just around and then down the side of the cam, and that's where the shitting thing is. It's in a little, probably 1/2 inch wide. Actually, no, it's thinner than that. It's only maybe 5 or 7/16 wide channel that this thing is sitting in, and it's just wide enough for this cap, man. I'll in the morning I'll snap some pictures with my bore scope, and I'll put them up tomorrow. I'll do a quick little video of it so that you guys can see the predicament that I'm dealing with. I got to try and figure out if I can record video with my bore scope. For some reason I don't think this app lets me do that. Tape a straw to a welding rod and hook it up to a vacuum. Maybe. Well, and that's just it, Phil. I don't know if it will fall any further. I mean, the crank and connecting rods are directly below the camshaft, and then directly below that is the oil pan. But I don't remember if this oil pan has a girdle or windage tray, and is it going to get caught up in the connecting rods and the crank first? I wouldn't think that it could. Even if it did, I don't think it could cause any problems. But I also don't know what. Well, yeah, Mr. Sadie, it's a piece of plastic. Otherwise, a magnet would have definitely been my first thing. So, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna try and hook it with that welding rod in the morning. Worst case scenario, I hook it with the welding rod, and as I'm trying to bring it back up and around the camshaft, it's gonna fall off the damn off the welding rod, and it's gonna go down anyway. And if it does, I don't know the insides of the block, so I don't know if there's a separation between the crank and the cam. It's coated in oil right now. It's sitting in an oil galley, Mr. Sadie. So JB Weld wouldn't set up on it. It wouldn't grab it, unfortunately. Again, I don't know what the block looks like internally, so I don't know if there's another valley below the camshaft, and then it's going to have oil galleys that allow the oil to drain from there back into the pan, over the crank and connecting rods and back into the pan. So, well, you like making it hard. I know, buddy. You're telling me, man. Oh, this has been the last like 2.5, almost 3 hours of my life right now. It's been a bad last part of the day. Just to catch you up on it, Mr. Sadie, I dropped the thing I'm trying to get out of there is an injector cap. What it does is it when the fuel comes out of the injector needle, it helps disperse and make a cone shape out of the jet of fuel that comes out of the injector. Okay, it's to help obviously get a more even burn. It fell off when I was removing the injectors from the intake, and it fell down through the intake, past the intake valve into the combustion cylinder. I took the intake off, was able to blow that piece out of the combustion chamber, but then it bounced around the valley of the top of the block and went right down one of the 4 very small oil galley holes directly over the camshaft. Went around the side of the camshaft and is now sitting in another oil galley that runs just below the camshaft. And my predicament is that if I get it up and out of that little galley, if it falls before I can get it up and back out of the hole it fell through, is it then going to fall into another valley of the block above the crank and then plug up, or possibly plug up one of the oil galleys there, which I don't want. We don't want any oiling issue, of course. Or is it then just going to fall down past the crank and connecting rods and into the windage tray and eventually into the oil pan, where I can just drain the oil and get it out that way? So anyway, I found it with my borescope. I can see it with the borescope. No, actually, Gaston, it's a 1968 GT40, Ford GT40. It's about a $200,000 car. Yeah, Chuck, I can't tear the motor apart any further than it already is. I just can't. I will be fired at that point. I'll put it that way. They have really got me doing a little bit of everything. Got forklift qualified and such. They seem happy with my work. Hell yeah, Eddie. Keep up that good work, brother. Yeah, I guess puckered up over it. Pretty sure there's still some in my ass, that is. When I watched that piece fall through that, it shut real quick. Yeah, and it's plastic. So, really up Schitt's Creek. Like I said, if it goes and ends up making it all the way to the oil pan, great, not a big deal. If it gets into the connecting rods and the crank, it's plastic, it's not going to hurt it. But it's the fact that if it doesn't make it that far, if it plugs up an oil galley, then, you know, that's that much less oil hitting the crank and the connecting rods. And I can't have that, of course. It's up your kidney and grabs a kidney stone, just like what you're talking. Yeah, I know, dude. Like the Total Recall plastic magnet. Yeah, Gaston, it's a plastic part. It's an injector cap that goes on the very end of the injector, and it's a bad design, if you ask me. Oh yeah, he doesn't. Well, yes, he does know. He knows it went down into the cam shaft area. I wasn't able. He was doing dyno pulls on the CTSV at the end of the day, so I couldn't tell him that, hey, I found exactly where it is in there. So I'll talk to him in the morning about it. Tube with wire down it and hooked at the end so you can pull tight against the tube. That's a good idea, Jeff. I even contemplated drilling a hole directly above it, like just offset from the oil galley hole. But then then I'm gonna have oil or metal shavings go down onto the camshaft and shit. And we really don't want that happening inside the motor. The boss man didn't have any suggestions. He was calling our engine builder to see what he said about it. Can you put some sticky paste on the end of a plastic straw and get to it? Sticky grease, maybe, Gaston. The problem is it's coated in oil. It's actually sitting in a small oil galley, so I don't know that anything will stick. It's worth a try, but the other problem is I've only got about a 7/16 hole to get anything down to it, and I have to have my bore scope in that hole just to see it, just to see what I'm doing. I can't directly see the part with my eyes. So, dude, it's just bad. It's bad all around. It's a bad day. Okay, I gotta end the live stream, guys. Erica's angry at me for something. She's telling me to go right now. So, later, guys. Have a great night. Maybe I'll get back on here later. Peace.